ESPN dropped a top 25 WNBA players list last week. It's been pretty controversial, so I wanted to quickly give my thoughts on it. The most glaring omission I see from their list is Camila Cardoso. Cardoso, without a doubt, will be a top 25 player. If there's any player that was disrespected by ESPN, it's her by far. This season we will see the real Camila Cardoso, because she's finally playing with a guard that will actually give her the ball in Courtney Vandersloot. Despite being by far and away Chicago's most efficient player, there were several possessions where she wouldn't even touch the ball last season. That's not going to be the case anymore. ESPN has been getting a lot of criticism for putting Angel Reese at 25, but I don't have any problem with her being in the middle 20 range. Giving her current abilities, having her in the top 25 is not being disrespectful. She led the league in rebounding, but having a field goal percentage of 39% when most of your shot attempts are near the rim is a huge problem. Maybe you could argue her over a player like Aaliyah Boston, whose play style doesn't fit a run-and-gun system that Indiana is running, but no way is she better than a player like De'Erica Hamby or Skylar Diggins. I wouldn't put her over Ezi Magbagor either. Reese is a much better rebounder, but Ezi is a top 3 defender in the league and significantly more efficient. De'Erica Hamby is definitely too low. The only argument I can think of is ESPN assuming last year was just a fluke. I have no idea how she didn't win the Most Improved Player award last year. She's a walking 20-10 player, and I have no doubt this ranking will look crazy once the season starts. I love Ryan Howard's defense, but her scoring ability has been extremely overrated. She's never shot more than 40% from the field in her career. You can't tell me players like Maddie Siegrist couldn't average at least 17 points if they took 15 shots every night. Alicia Gray is a lot more impactful than Ryan and deserves a lot more recognition. Skylar Diggins is also too low. Ironically, I think ESPN's reasoning is exactly why she needs to be higher. They said it themselves. She had some early struggles because she was rusty from taking a year off due to pregnancy, but post-Olympic break we were able to see the vintage Skylar Diggins. She's so much more versatile than a lot of the guards that were ranked over her. There's no one that exposes how long someone has been watching the WNBA more than Chelsea Gray does. The fact there's actually people saying that she's overrated and is undeserving of being considered one of the top point guards is a clear indicator they only started watching her last season, when she wasn't healthy. It's very obvious from Unrivaled in the preseason games that she's back to her prime self, but there will still be people that doubt her. I don't get it, but I'll move on. Arike is a tough player to rank. She has a skill set to be a top 5 player in the WNBA, but at some point you gotta penalize a player for missing the playoffs on a consistent basis. She's exciting to watch and one of the best isolation scorers in the game, but until she becomes a better off-the-ball scorer and improves her playmaking, Dallas will continue to struggle. Kalia Copper not being in the top 10 is absolutely insane. There's no way Nneka Ogwumike is better than her, and Kelsey for sure isn't better either. No issue with anyone in the top 5. Unless there's an injury or if a younger player has an insane breakout season, the players in ESPN's top 5 will be first-team All-WNBA. Caitlin Clark was ranked number 4 by ESPN, which has been the main discussion regarding this top 25 list. I can't fault ESPN too much for this. Caitlin Clark is clearly a top 5 player. It's just about finding where in that top 5 she should fit. In my opinion, I would rank her ahead of Breanna Stewart. There's so many days Breanna Stewart can take off and get away with performing because of how supremely talented Sabrina Ionescu and Jonquel Jones are. Obviously, Kelsey Mitchell is a beast, but the major difference is that Caitlin Clark has to run the point guard position and is constantly getting picked up full court. So Caitlin has to always perform or her team will suffer. That being said, I wouldn't rank over A'ja Wilson or Napheesa Collier. Caitlin Clark is the best offensive player in the league when you factor in her scoring and assisting, but is not even top 50 in terms of defense. What made Caitlin Clark the best player in college despite not being a great defender is that she was twice as good offensively as the next best player. That's not the case in the WNBA. She led the league in assists in the W, but was outscored by A'ja Wilson and Napheesa. For me to consider her better than A'ja Wilson or Napheesa, she needs to outscore them while still leading the league in assists, or average double-digit assists while making massive improvements to her defense. That's certainly possible, but that hasn't happened yet. But I will say, A'ja Wilson's title as the best player in the WNBA will definitely be threatened this year. She might have won MVP last year, but Napheesa was clearly the best player in the playoffs. She also outplayed A'ja Wilson in the majority of their head-to-head matchups. But I can't take away the fact that A'ja Wilson broke the record for points per game, was second in rebounding, led the league in blocks, and was top 5 in steals. My prediction is that Nafisa Collier will be MVP this season, but Asia Wilson gets the Defensive Player of the Year award, because they always seem to use the Defensive Player of the Year as a pseudo-MVP runner-up trophy. But that's it for this video. Let me know if you would like me to do a top 25 players list. As always, thanks for watching.